Hello there, my name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee, and today we're making a clutch bag to go with the Downton Abbey dress. Now I don't have that much scrap actually. Like, I knew I was going to do the clutch bag with the dress, and I was hoping for a bit more left over. So I'm just cutting a circle now for the bottom of a clutch bag. Now this clutch bag is going to be very similar to Hermione's beaded bag. Yeah, so just so you've got an idea of where we're going with this. And I'm going to line it with standard lining, silky lining, which is great. Although, as you all know, silky lining is a bit... oh, it's tricky. It just disappears. You've got to pin it with paper or use a pattern and a pen. Now, I'm quite happy to do this with the circle because it is the lining. And otherwise I'll have to waste a bit of paper and pin it all out, and it will take too long. So I'm just going to do it very quickly. I also have got two strips of both types of fabric for the upright of the bag. Now the thing about these little beaded bags is, in that time you'd only take a handkerchief in your bag. It's not like now where you'd have to worry about keys and everything, so mobile phones. Okay, the best way to do it is to have your straight piece flat to join a circle to a flat bit, and then the flat bit under. So I've got my strip of fabric. I seem to have jumped like loads of stages. Yeah, so I have everything I need here. I have some elastic for the opening and closing. I have some scraps of fabric, and I'm going to hand sew with glitter thread. I did try and use this glitter thread on the sewing machine, and it didn't like it, so, which is fine. Lovely. So all I'm doing now is teasing the circle round. I have got some straggly bits caught up, so, and this is all the frayy ends. But there we go. I'm just following it through, keeping the bottom bits flat and the circle bit. Obviously this is really, really scruffy, but it is on the inside. I'm making sure that I don't get anything caught up underneath the side. So there we are, we're back to the beginning now. And what we need to do is I didn't measure this, I just used what I've got actually, I'm terrible for that. Is make sure that that's lined up before we go up. We don't want it to go up at an angle, and very easy to do that, so just going to take our time and make sure that it's level, but make sure that it's straight. So yeah, it's a good idea if you're trying something new and you are using lining, is to do the lining first, because you can be a bit more forgiving to yourself with it. So there we are. We have like a dome thing. Put that there. There is. Who knows? There is a lot of excess thread here. And now I need my circle for the top of the bag and my straight bit for going round. So again, flat bit on the bottom, circle bit on the top, a couple of stitches just to get it started, to sort of pull round. Okay, so again we need to make sure that this is flat before we cut it, and a bit easier because this has got stripes in it. And then we need to re-thread our machine because we were just too gang-ho. So there we are, we have two, well, domy things, hats. They're hats, honestly. Woohoo! I'm a little sailor boy. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to make the handle. If we were doing a Hermione bag, then we would need it slightly, well, she used to wear it over her shoulder, like, so it would be quite long. We're just making a clutch though, but the principles are the same. So now there's two ways of doing this. I could get an iron out, I could get a packet of pins out, and I can do lots of things. Basically we're folding it over. Can you see okay? We're folding it over, and then we're folding it over again so that we've got all our loose ends tucked in. And it is tricky. It is tricky even if you've got an iron or anything else like that, or pins here. So what I'm going to do is very naughty, and it won't look as good, is fold it over once. Fold it over again. Fold it over again. It is pretty much laziness, really. Oh, do you know, I'm not winning this morning, am I? I had to stop filming earlier because there was a man mowing the lawn, and now I'm going to stop filming again to just change my bobbin, which is fine. Actually, I don't need to do that. So we've got the principle anyway. That's how I'm going to make the strap. Yes, it's lazy, okay, and then that'll fold over. So I want to do the decorating of the bag as such before I sew the lining in. This is so that my stitches are not shown. So I'm just going to, sorry about the vertigo guys, turn that round slightly. I have a needle threaded with my metallic thread, and if this doesn't work then I'm going to just change to normal thread, because you can see that it just sort of pings back, and it worked fine in the sewing machine. It worked fine on the top thread, but it couldn't do the bobbin. So all I'm going to do is I need to make sure that I start quite low down. Because this is quite thin reft, I'm going to do a couple of stitches before I start. And I'm going to take my necklace and then at intervals I'm going to place a stitch to hold it in place. Now it would look nice if I did 3 sort of dangly bits every now and again, and that's fine if you've got the patience and suitable sort of wire cuttery thread, then that would be great, and a needle that you could get through the holes on the stones. So now I don't think it's the thread that's causing me problems, I think it's just me, but once I get going I'm sure it'll be quite easy. So there we go. I'm going to switch the camera off and then I'm going to come back to you when I have looped both necklaces round the bag. Alright, thank you for watching, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, 10. So, I'm back, welcome back. Been busy, rethreaded the thing. Oh, useless. And then, so I left you with the bobbin gone, and then I'm just going to sew this together. Now, if you were to do it properly with pins and everything, and irons and oodles of patience, then you would just have one line of stitches showing and it would look a lot nicer. So that's that done. That's the handle. If you were to making a Hermione bag, then it needs to be really long. Hermione out of Harry Potter, and I think it was the last movie, so yeah. And of course I've watched them all. Alright, I'm going to put that somewhere safe. And also, I have nearly finished doing the beads on the bag. Now, as you can see, I've sort of looped them round. Now, there's no exact science to this. Your hat, and then the measurement of the beads. These are what we'd call crystal chips, and I see them for sale everywhere, so yeah. Or, you know, I'm not going to tell you what type of beads you like, because let's face it, we all have our preference. So that's the last stitch done on there, and yes, that's not something I can help you with. You have to choose what you like and use what you have. So the next step is to get this sewn to the lining. Now I'm going to keep the bag, the outside, the right way round, and the lining's inside out. And I need some of my elastic to sit on the outside. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut it yet. I'm just going to put in a good end, if that makes sense, so that it's out of the way. But I'm going to do that first so I don't forget, because I do forget things. So it's just a matter of doing a line of stitches along here, but I want to leave probably 3/4 of an inch, just to then put another line of stitches with the elastic in between. So, as of always, make sure that you don't come a cropper by stitching the stones. So, make sure everything's tucked out of the way. And once you've sewn the elastic through, then keep that out of the way as well. My machine was making a funny noise, yeah, so I don't know what that was about. It was making more of a clunking noise. But I did a lot of sewing on it yesterday and it got a bit hot. Okay, I'm just coming up to the beginning now. All the way round. I know what I should have done. You see what I mean about I forget? I should have sewn the handle in. So let's just have a look where I am. I'm not going to sew the handle in. Yes, I'm going to sew the handle in from the outside because I can't break those stitches without damaging the fabric. Now my next line of stitches is going to have the elastic on the inside. So it is just a matter of putting the machine on and then pushing it to the other line of stitches where the elastic would sit. And this is because you need to get into the bag, don't you? But then you need the bag to close afterwards. Now I've chosen this type of elastic because I'm going to do a knot in it to keep it so that I've got enough to open it and close it. And that's why I didn't cut it straight away. So yeah, every couple of inches I'm just adjusting just to check that I'm not sewing over my elastic and I'm catching both the lining and the outer fabric. Sorry, I'm a bit quiet, concentrating. Okay. I'm on my last little run now. And I have that bit of elastic as well. Okay, so that's that done. Probably a bit boring to watch because you can't see anything because it's all a bit fiddly. Now we have everything inside out. Oh, what a shame. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I will drink coffee and wake up. Here we go. I thought I was being ever so clever. So, what I'm going to do is where I've started and stopped, it's a bit weaker always. Oh, no, maybe that's the best bit. Yeah. So, I'm going to take a couple of stitches out of, in the lining, when we originally sewed it, I sewed up the side of the lining going upwards. What I'm doing is I'm picking the stitches there because everything else is in the right position, and I'm turning it inside out. There we are. So now what I'm left with is keep my elastic out of the way, and I need to do a nice slip knot there so that it can all slide down. I must admit I do have a toggle here. I have one left over. So if you've got one of those, that would be great. If not, there's a special type of knot that you can do. It's like that will slide it all through. But we're going to use this for today. Because it's going to be on the inside. But I do want everything to be secure once it's in the bag. There we are. Knock that off, and then that slide down and keep it all tight. So we just need to sew on the handle because we keep forgetting about it, even to the extent where I just lose it. And we need to sew this up. Do you know, when if something goes wrong, I tend to get into such a state that I can't carry on. Yes, but I will. So we're going to start at the bottom and then go to the top. And this is the lining and now what I've done with the lining is I've tucked the loose ends in. This is just so that I can keep it quite nice. And what I'm going to do also is I'm going to tuck the raw ends of the handle in. So I have to be careful because obviously I've got crystals here that I could sew over and the toggles, and what I really don't want to do is keep the elastic from catching. So, but a nice and secure and nice and tidy way to do it. There we go. And a couple of reverse stitches just to keep it all nice and secure. Well, other than trimming off my cotton threads, which mainly are inside, I think we're done. I'm just tucking the lining in now. And I'm just going to pull the elastic. Which really wants to go. My own take on the beaded bag. Alright, I'm going to put lipstick in there just to keep weight in it. Probably something heavier because it needs something heavier. But probably not quite as big as the rock. little Hermione little Downton Abbey beaded bag. Okay, thank you ever so much for watching. What I'll do is on the blurb I will tell you not to sew the side of the lining up because you'll need it for turning inside out. And yes, I think it does everybody good to know that I am human as well. Anyway, thank you for watching. It's been a delight. Please like, share and subscribe, and hopefully I'll catch you again soon. Thank you for watching.